Hello, I'm Glenn W. Hunter, and with me is Miss Shor Denny of Community Now. And what we have today is three C's of SEL: collaboration, community, and communication. And what we have that we really want to focus on today with three C's is a familiar topic, but we just can't seem to get enough of it: COVID again.
Again.
So, Shor, when you hear COVID, and that's all we've heard, what does it mean today that's really a little bit more distinct than some of the challenges we've been battling for the last couple of months?
Really, now it's socializing and masks, I think, are our challenges of today with this. I don't know, we were about to be free, right? I was trying to do all of my exciting things, and I wanted to I got skating in at the park once while things kind of got a little lighter, but here we go again. Now things are shutting down and the numbers are going up.
I think we have a lot of moving parts that are driving that, some more subtle than others. But I think there's a huge, maybe not huge, but there is a material shift in behaviors that kind of keeps keeps its legs. And I think that one particular behavior is the use of masks. I mean, 3 months ago, 2 months ago, it was almost a fashion statement. You were getting masks, you knew that would help, you're doing what's good for the community, and you had a few people who were resistant, but it really became almost cool to have your mask on in public, and be able to walk into the grocery store with a mask on and nobody freaks out.
Right.
We kind of got away with this as the drudgery of the virus continued to impact our society. So now we have kids who don't want to really wear masks. What's going on there? And what seems to be the trigger for that behavior?
Oh man, right now it's going to be misinformation, mass information. The fact that they've been told that they're not going to get it or that they're not going to die, they're the carriers, so they don't feel that they have any physical challenges or chances of, dying from this. It's an old people problem right now. So, when you go out in the streets, you're seeing our youth all doing what they were doing before COVID. It's not like they've changed their behaviors. They're doing the same things, right? They're trying to get dates and they're trying to be cute and they're trying to be friends and they're trying to not wear those masks. So we see many, many more youth not wearing masks right now than probably healthy.
I find it particularly interesting to the points you made that this old behavior is returning. There's sort of it passed me, almost as if our youth are saying, it passed me by, I'm good now, back to business as usual, and it's summertime. So to your point, as many teenagers feel, it's time for me to be out and be seen.
Right.
So we're finding groups in places where maybe we weren't seeing them before. What do you think? What do you think the community is seeing now when they start noticing congregations of kids in some familiar places? What are the old folks seeing?
Thinking. Right now, I don't think there are many old folks out. And if they are out and about, they're wearing their masks. And I don't know, some of them might have resentment because the youth are not being responsible, that they have the ability to spread this. And I think some of them are fearful. They simply don't want to be around them, because they could be carriers. And some I don't think care. They don't think that that masks matter.
Wow. And so, I think even from, I guess, a maturity standpoint, as older people are looking at it, I guess they're not getting so riled up about this new wave of activity that our youth is showing. I mean, it's just sort of kids being kids, and I'll take care of mine, but, somebody else help them. Is that an accurate way of looking at it?
This is such a challenging time. Um, who is right and who is wrong has not been determined. There's mud in the water, right? We don't know. The coronavirus has so many symptoms, right? There are supposedly a limited way of getting it. So wearing a mask would supposedly stop transmission, but our rates are going up because they say because people are not wearing masks. So mentally, this puts us in a state of we're not being trauma informed, right? We're traumatized. Right now, we don't know what we should do, how we should do it, and when. So we're looking at our individual ideas of health and safety, and kind of looking at some broad um, guidelines that have come out from our governor, from the Surgeon General, from FOSSI, CDC, things that they are telling us that are in our best interest to
Mhm.
do, but we really don't have any mandates. So right now it's what is my individual health and my individual family's health? How impacted are we going to be by this? And should we take it seriously?
So as you start looking at some of these individual ideas coming to the forefront and maybe a sense of self-centeredness, we can't escape from the fact that it does result in trauma, whether it's through illness, whether it's through people being uncomfortable or just people hiding, but there's trauma. When you see kids without masks, as we're looking at them now, what are some of the trauma um, aspects that they're going to have to face in the coming weeks?
I think they are facing right now, do they walk out their door, right? Right now, they're facing how far do they go and how many friends do they see? Their parents definitely have something to do with this, play dates, different things like that, that we're going to be doing. We have to socialize. And I think this break showed how intense that need is, right? People swarmed out the doors to try to get in the sunlight. I think that what we need to do is monitor how do we socialize in this pandemic, and how do we keep not only ourselves but others safe with different informations and different needs for different people.
Hmm. You know, it's interesting that you talk about the importance of socializing because one of the things that we're experiencing in this COVID again window is skyrocketing cases. You know, so yes, how do we socialize? Is this proper? Is it not? Evidently, young people and maybe some not so young people, we're finding each other because the numbers are rising. Do you think it's more youth driven in this case, or do you think it's more adult driven in this case, in terms of how we're getting increased numbers, particularly here in California?
I think it's the adults
Hmm.
completely. I think it's the adults. And I think that when the bars were open, they ran, right?
Right.
They were at the movie theaters and many of them were not wearing masks. Maybe some feel that America doesn't wear masks, as we see, China and some Asian countries have been wearing masks for years because of different contagions and things in their air.
Right.
Now, it's a part of our reality. And as you were talking about before, these masks, I have bought several masks now. I think that we should be making fashion statements, right? You need to
Mhm.
have the color mask to go with your outfit. I have a little mask with some puffs on it because I wear natural hair. So I have my natural girl, mask. So I,
Mhm.
I think let's have fun with this. And mentally, I think it would help to have some fun with the things that we have to do for our health. So I'd say everyone go out, get them in it color coordinated. What is your hobby? I see some people with their sports team, on their masks. This is something that's not going to go away. It's not going to go away quickly. We're saying COVID again, but we're still in the first phase. We have not come out of this wave. We are staying in it. So we're saying COVID again, but it looks like we prematurely opened, right? We prematurely started socializing without these masks and without precautions. And one of the biggest things are mass groupings, right? Large groups have they say, the highest risk for us. So if we're interacting one-on-one, if we're like the restaurants with the patios that are open, if we're having, small, meals and different types of things, it seems that with the mask, we are complying and we are being concerned about others' health as well as ours.
Okay. It's interesting as you talk about the fashion component of it, that they can do the right thing and look good doing it. Something that I've noticed out in public is the fashion accessory of sort of the turtleneck type mask, which, seems to be coordinated or showing a particular brand or style, where it pops up, it pops down, and you're able to show a lot of flexibility. And, I think where I've noticed it more from a fashion perspective is with ladies who feel, I guess, a sense of confidence and control that, yes, I can still maintain my physical presence, but I can be safe as well. Do you think that kind of, maybe not that exact tool, but that kind of mindset would help in terms of monitoring or minimizing us exposing the virus to each other?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Masks protect us and it protects them, right? And now we can go, even though everything is like, we've got the social distancing and they have limits on how many people can be in a certain place at a time right now, but we can still, thankfully, now we're able to go out. I believe that if more people followed the mask rule, we'd be able to be out and our numbers would not rise. It's the fact that they're not following it. And that's where we now are at a point, and say COVID again, we're at a point now to where it's beyond the quarantine. We're out. So now it's making these decisions of who do I deal with? Where do I go? Where am I safe or not safe now?
I think you want to dive a little bit deeper on that decision-making process, because now who am I around, who am I associating with, literally has health implications. I remember when I was younger, it's like my parents would say, don't hang around that person's bad. You'll get hurt being around those type of people. And, maybe some cases they were right, some cases they were wrong. Now we're in an environment where being around someone who's been around someone, now all of a sudden that brings a health risk to you. How do you even begin to manage that?
I think it's the government I got the idea, and I think they got this, this is not something new, but it's that profiling, right? I think that right now it's the dilemma of the day. Who do I go around? Who is safe? Who can I let in my home now? Can my cleaners come back? Oh my God, because my house is a mess. Where do we let people in and where do we not? This social profiling is something that we all are going to be doing, and mentally wellness dictates that we do that, right? That we start looking at where we're going, who we're going to be around. It's almost, and I hate to say it, it's almost like a STD, right? If I've been with you, I'm with who you've been with, right? So now it's literally in your presence. If you come into my presence and you just came from partying the night before, I really do want to know that so I can make the decision of if I want to be around you, right? And I need to know, have you quarantined for 12 days since the last time you went out, right? Or, so there are qualifiers now for us for how we're going to. I might see my cousin, but I might not see my brother, right? Depending on the lifestyles of the people and their risk, their chance of risk from me even, right? I'm thinking that I'm doing it right, but there are some people that have taken this to the level of serious. I mean, we're all serious, but to where they're when they go to the store before, they have staging areas, right? Where they spray down each item before it comes into the house, right? I mean, there are people that are doing some serious germ control. And then there are others who don't care. They're going to buying the groceries, bringing them in, putting them up. They keep they're not using gloves. They barely wear a mask. So, again, we've got to look at our individual risks as well as those that we're going to be around. The mask, I'm trying to make it light and say, let's be cute, you know, let's try to work and comply with humanity. Let's have love for our neighbor enough that when we are out and in social situations that we are protecting not only me, but anybody that I may be in contact with in the near future, right? And that's days, that's 2 weeks. When I go out to the store, I have to think if my grandmother is an ill, has an autoimmune system problem, am I going to go see her within the next couple of days, right? We now have to schedule. What are we going to do and when based on who we're going to see? So I think that that's what COVID again is. It's now a new set of requirements on us, on now filtering how we're going to live, who we're going to be around, you know.
You know, I think it's important that we embrace that that is part of the new normal, that people are going to be scanning who they are around, who they're interacting with, and trying to understand who those individuals are interacting with. I have a dear friend who's has an at-risk profile, and if you go visit him, he's taking your temperature at the door when you come in, when you come out.
That's great.
You know, and it's not that he's being mean or insensitive. Those are the rules. You know, if you're not going to abide by those rules of my house, call me. You have my phone number. You know, but what's important is that we do have these tools to help minimize the risk of spreading the coronavirus. And without being intentional about it, we are witnessing what can happen once we relax the rules before we've allowed them to operate through their fruition.
Right.
So with that in mind, that gets me to, I guess the question is, what strategy do you think we can deploy to help people understand the urgency of being mindful of managing this resurgence of COVID? What do we say? What do we do to help minimize this explosion?
I can't think of anything that we can do other than the masks, right? Staying home unless you need to go out is the only way. As we've seen in other countries, they did these quarantines and they waited it out, right? Until they came back to clean numbers before they reopened. We didn't do that. We didn't even have a real drop before we started our reopening. So I would ask our government to support the health of our communities by supporting us not going back to work right now. You know, the essentials being the essential and the not essential being the not. We need groceries, we need health services, right? There are things now that we're kind of coming back in, doctor's appointments need to be made for things other than COVID. There are things that our community and our society has to do to continue, but we just need to remember that this is a new day. We're in post-COVID, and in post-COVID, we wear masks, and masks should be a sign of honor. Masks should be a badge saying that I care about humanity. That's what the mask is saying when you see someone wearing it, not that, you know, we're looking at it from the point of, oh, I'm fearful. Oh, you know, I'm trying to protect me. No, what we're doing is we're saying I'm coming out into the world and I'm wearing this so I'm protecting myself and others because I'm coming out here. I'm going to be here, right?
At the end of the day, and again, our subject matter expert, Shor, Denny, has spoken, but I have to tend to agree with her on this. We have to get back to the fundamentals. I mean, wear our masks, use the tools that will help protect us. I'm included in us. I mean, I'm protecting me when I wear my mask as well, but the next person also. Exercise, shelter in place. If you don't have to go, don't necessarily go. Doesn't mean we want to keep ourselves away from friends and loved ones, but we want to be very mindful that we're not being overly friendly to the point that we're putting our health at risk, other people's health at risk, and even people we don't know who just happen to be in our environment at that moment in physical time at risk. We really have to accept the responsibility of monitoring our behavior so that we will be able to return to a better reality that doesn't involve COVID-19.
We can think of our mask girls. I'm saying for the ladies, we can think of our masks as our lipstick, because we're not allowed to wear lipstick anymore, right? Because you can't wear lipstick and the mask. So this has been my challenge in this new age. So I have to not remember not to wear lipstick, but as I said, make sure that your mask, gives you that personality that you're looking for. And let's mask it together, man. There are some great new companies, and there's a new Black-owned company. Her name is Devonna Roy. She's on Facebook, and she makes little girl and little boy masks that are just the cutest things. And again, let's try to embrace this. This is a new day. It's really our opportunity to socialize is what we're looking at. Don't wear masks. We're not going to be able to socialize, because the worse that this COVID gets, the more they're going to restrict us. Let's try to not stay restricted. Let's just wear a mask.
You've heard it here from our subject matter expert, Shor Denny of Community Now. Also, this is Glenn W. Hunter. And together we're giving you the 3 C's of SEL. Communication, collaboration, and community. Most importantly, as we get out there and realize that we're in an era of COVID, and we're in an era of COVID again, I urge each and every one of you to be safe.
And remember to like us, subscribe, share us with others if you can, and contribute. You can go to communitynow.info's website, and you can support us with donations, or you can go to tips.ie and give us comments. We're on YouTube, and we're on Twitter and Facebook. Peace, you guys. Stay safe and well.